welcome to PlayStation Access. I'm Nathan. I'm with Joel from Titanfall 2. He's the art director on that title. I want to say, man, it's about time. This is great. PlayStation audience, we can finally talk to you. I sneakily played a bit of Titanfall on the PC. Obviously, I didn't play it on PlayStation 4. That wasn't happening. But if our viewers don't know, I mean, I'm excited about this. And I was saying, we've already done a video on Titanfall 2, and I'm happy it's coming. But if our viewers don't know, can you give them the overview of why they should be excited? What is the the philosophy of Titanfall? What's the game about? What does it do?
Where do I start? This
Really
is crazy.
quickly.
I think first things first. I think one thing that we should mention is that we're bringing Titanfall to PS4, Titanfall 2, and you wouldn't have had to have played Titanfall 1 to pick up on Titanfall 2. It's a whole new experience. The story picks up on its own, and it tells its own story.
Sure.
You'll see some characters from before that if you were familiar with it before, you'll see them again. But
Sure.
basically, the philosophy of Titanfall, it started out as a multiplayer-only game with this thing called campaign multiplayer. And so we were trying to weave story and AI into a multiplayer experience with real players.
Yep.
So the game is played from two perspectives: a pilot, which is a human scale, and then a giant 20-foot-tall robot.
Yep.
That's a giant robot scale. And so you get this crazy dynamic, super crazy gameplay with the pilots where they're able to wall run and slide and do all this stuff. And then they can jump into this giant 20-foot tall Titan and just play it that way too. So the philosophy is, basically free-form crazy game mechanics, and this time we're bringing single player to the table.
I mean, that is excellent. That's my next question. I want to say, the maneuverability for me is just the thing. And when I got back into it, I played it yesterday. It's still amazing. And now that's going to be in a single player setting for the first time. You guys have got a campaign and the story. Can you tell us, I mean, you guys must have been excited to tell a deeper story about this world that you guys have created. What is the campaign doing? What's the story it's telling?
I won't go into any too many spoilers or anything, but I think one thing that was really cool about going to Titanfall 2 is taking the lessons learned from multiplayer in Titanfall 1 and bringing that over. We introduced all that crazy wall running and stuff, and how do you take that into a single player environment? It was really tricky.
Sure.
Luckily, we did campaign multiplayer, and we had a leg to stand on, so to speak, with AI.
Yep.
And you had to have AI that can deal with people running around and doing counters and flanking and wall runs and jumping over and doing all this stuff.
Right.
And now when we go into single player this time, we have AI that can kind of handle. It's actually easier for the AI to deal with you, which actually let us kind of open up the floodgates a little more and explore more AI. But really, what it does is it gets us the opportunity, especially from the art side too, be able to explore the Titanfall universe and really see how it works.
Yep.
And take a moment to kind of go in there, and it's not crazy. There's not 20 people shooting at you from all angles. You could there's a pace to it.
Cool.
It's a single player. You get to go through it at your own pace.
And I think watching the trailer, I mean, I was surprised, not knowing loads about the kind of the background and the lore of this world. It seemed to be from the perspective of the AI itself, so it kind of immediately spoke to the relationship between the pilot and the Titan. And I'm guessing you do play as a pilot in the campaign?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
We won't go crazy until I can't wait to tell you all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's killing me to not be able to dig into this. But what I can tell you is that you start as a rifleman, and you kind of you get put into a situation where your career gets really advanced really quickly, and a scenario happens.
Battlefield promotion kind of stuff.
An event happens,
Right.
and there's you hear it in the trailer. They had no other choice. You've got to step up. So. It has a nice little ramp right there, so you kind of start off that way, and then you're introduced to all these crazy mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the idea. It reminded me of Judge Dredd with his gun or whatever. But it's just this link between the machinery and the human being, and it was unusual that someone would just be able to jump in. And
I think we really not only that the player has their own personality and feel, and their purpose in the world and how that fits in, and then it was really important to get this special type of Titan into single player and give it a real personality.
Yeah, of
and
course.
get that to find the right voice. It took 7 months to design the Hero Titan BT 7274. So
is that his name?
That's his name. Yeah, it has a meaning. It's out there. We'll get into that later.
And one other question just about the campaign before we move on to more about the multiplayer, and that is kind of what world is this? What setting is this? I mean, we're in this this is a kind of a jungly environment that you guys have set up here.
Yeah.
What can you tell us? What year it is? Is it this reality, or is it like
It's Titanfall definitely takes place in the future. I think humanity is in first Titanfall. We learned that humanity had the ability. They discovered how to fold space, and they found this Goldilocks system with all these inhabitable planets. And then this conflict happened when you introduce like these crazy corporations that are they're business interests and stuff, and the people. And so you had this conflict start up. But it's basically we're on one planet this time.
Sure.
Planet Typhon, and just because we're on one planet doesn't mean that there's a ton of really tricky, crazy, exotic environments that really take advantage of all the wall running and stuff. So what I would really like to have done, and what we did on this project, was really kind of delve into nature a little bit. You can see there's a little bit of a creature aspect to it. The environment's against you. It's not,
Sure.
You got to watch out. There's different types of AI that work in the environment. It was just it was a chance to kind of explore the universe, but we kind of settled in on this kind of Forbidden Planet theme, and there's a whole story behind why it is the way it is. We had to do a ton of work of trying to figure out the maneuverability and how to accommodate for that, and it just meant like really crazy environmental geometry that actually moved with the pilot. The pilot has to wall run on it.
Oh, man.
So it's all driven by the planet's story, so to speak.
Yeah. I can't wait to play more of that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And on the multiplayer side, I kind of want to ask what you guys have done that's new, but then obviously everything is new for the PlayStation audience. But I do know that the tethering's new, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, tethering's cool, and I was using it kind of like an extra sprint to get me out of situations.
Yeah.
And then at some point during, because I had a quick hands-on, at some point I tethered something at kind of ground level, and then I did the double jump, and suddenly I was like in the sky, like shooting. It just transforms.
When you wrap your head around the grapple, it's the most fun mechanic ever. It's just you can grapple up, double jump, wall run, grapple into the ground, and then go into a slide and grapple up again. I mean, you can just ride this wave that's endless. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, I mean,
you can grapple into enemy titans and rip out their battery or throw a frag in there.
I was doing a lot of that, and that seemed to me, because I will say my experience previously was, as soon as the Titan landed, I didn't play it for ages and ages. I was just like, man, what do I do? And now it felt like the balance between the pilots and the Titans seemed to be kind of a little bit closer because of it. Is there kind of I also know that you guys have got kind of, is it 6 new Titans? Is that right?
There's 6 new Titans in multiplayer, and I think what thing you'll notice it's new to Titanfall 2 is that we spent a fair bit of time making sure that Titans had a lot of personality. Mm-hmm. And when I say personality, it also goes into gameplay. Like, you can actually tell what that Titan's going to do to you.
Right.
Or you can see the Titan down the street and think, I'm gonna move up and I'm really quick with this weapon or this mechanic, or I'm gonna get distance on this type of Titan. So getting that to really read well, and that visual language actually, it feeds into the pilots as well. Like there's heavies on both sides, pilot and Titan, and it kind of will usually represent what ability or tactical ability or what abilities the Titan's working with.
Sure.
So it's kind of a little bit of a Street Fighter approach to the Titans, giving them a lot of personality, but I think most of all really creating the sense of you want to hang on to the Titan a little while and build up to its core ability, because when that happens, you can just unleash hell on people.
Okay, yeah. And I guess that also speaks to the kind of level of customization that you guys have got in multiplayer that you've always got. So you get to choose, presumably you get to choose your Titan.
Yeah.
And then you get to, but there's like a whole huge kind of world of customization and leveling and unlockability, right? Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
I can say it's there. I can't wait to show it to you guys. You've seen a little bit of the stuff that's going on, some of the mechanics in there.
Of course, yeah.
You've seen some of the core abilities, like pilots having phase shift and the grappling hook, the hologram, all that stuff. I don't know. I want to talk about it all. There's a lot there. I think what's really important to kind of note is that on Titanfall 1, we got a lot of feedback about progression and how to do that and what people are looking for.
Sure.
And going into Titanfall 2 and going into a release, I'm really hoping that we hit that mark for people. We'll have to see what they say when they get their hands on it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget you can catch us all week at E3. Stay tuned to the channel.